स्थितितोलयन् नियतिप्रताय ज्ञानप्रताय विबुधासुरसौख्यदुःखसत्कारणाय विददाय नमो नमस्ते यो विप्रलिम्ब विपरीतमतिप्रबोधान् वादान् निरस्य कृतवान् भुविदत्ववादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपातकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। माण्डुक्योपनिषदः शांति पाठः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न क्षार्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Welcome friends. We are into the essence of Mandukya Upanishad, having gone through all the mantras, but for two mantras which is there in the fourth kanda that we will cover while discussing the essence itself. See, Upanishad, all the Upanishad, they are trying to attempt to give a sort of meaning to the life of every individual in this world. See, one of the things that we always don't try to ask during our day-to-day lifetime is, what is that and why, how we have come into this world. We know we have been born, because our mother and parents are there, our mother has delivered us and all, how the world was created and how we have come here. And what is this experience in this around the world? What are all the things in this terrestrial world? What is the experience that we are getting, into the entire world, as we live through? And what is that beyond the terrestrial experience? What is the terrestrial experience gives us and what we enjoy, and how we go beyond this terrestrial experience? This is sort of a science. This is a sort of an inquiry into the whole being of our existence, our own existence. Most of the religions tend to find the truth in some way or other, because all the religions are attempting to find what is the ultimate truth, because there is no doubt about it. Every religion goes into their own way. They've got their own exegesis, their own documents, their own gospels, their own masters who have gone into, right from the Greek time onwards. The Greek has produced so many philosophers worth the name, who are guiding the entire philosophical studies in the world. And likewise, we also in the East we were having, like West they were having and all. But the East, one of the thing is, we have gone into the inquiry so deep. Most of the things what we have aimed to sort of look into and try to think over and get into the ultimate truth are all being reflected in the modern times, when West is still finding out and ferreting out and realizing those truths. This truth has come. It is not because of some magic, or we are not endowed with any special powers, but here, when we live through all these, our masters, the spiritual masters, they try to find, because they have gone through the evolution of the entire human being. Then they found the only way you can find out is you will have to inquire. Inquire where? Inwards. You can see and experience the entire outer world, because there is no bar. All of us have got sensory organs. We have been equipped with all the know-how to deal with this world, enjoy ourselves, and as well as experience ourselves, what is good, bad, and as well as feel the happiness and sorrow, everything and all. Finally, the meaning of life is assigned only when you inquire into yourself very deeply, as we have discussed again and again. In fact, we are also quoting quite often what Swami Vivekananda said. The final attempt is to make who you are. If only you know who you are. That is the first question he has put. That is the finality of the entire thing and all. See, as Ramana Maharishi has said, All of us are divine beings. We are all very strong. We have got every strength of the world. We are robust in our mind, thought, as well as everything and all. We become weak when we are having that, and when we maintain that, it's okay. But our thoughts, our desires, and our actions make us weak. So finally, when it comes to how we are being made into weak, once we become weak, we said, and how I have become weak. Because once you attempt to look into your thoughts, desire, and actions, you will no longer be weak. This is what again the entire Upanishad brings out. This is what the philosophy is trying to attempt at that. So from this point of view, the Mandukya Upanishad, we said that the highest philosophical approach it has given to the entire mankind, and it has given to in such a fashion that all Upanishad, whatever they are asking, the philosophical component has been fully enshrined into this Upanishad without any sort of the extraneous thing like the stories, anecdotes, anything like that. Pure philosophy has been attempted at. How it has been attempted at? It has been attempted at in the language we know by virtue of the worldly experience, what we experience every day right from our birth. It has not gone out of it. It has gone to our own experience, to everyone's experience in this world, and try to bring out what is the philosophy out of that. Whereas most of the religion, when we even in our own religion, if you see the scriptures, if you try to talk about philosophical terms in ununderstandable, abstruse language, the philosophy will sing something, it's very different from us. We will not be able to get it. Whereas this Upanishad takes us through our own experience in with our own understanding. With our own understanding and with our own experience of this world, how we can understand. This is what has been attempted at. So when it has been attempted at, what is that? Because when we have come into this world and how the world has been created and all, finally it tries to give the first and foremost idea about the womb, because the womb is inextricable part of the entire human life in this part of the world. The Om is nothing but it denotes the ultimate superpower. The ultimate Paramatman or Brahman or consciousness, whatever you are telling, is being denoted by this Om. The Om, when we write and finally we make a small dot on that, that is the transcendental. See, Om tells what are all the worldly experience. The dot on that Om tells it is beyond our terrestrial experience, what we are getting it and all. So by virtue of our own experience, our own thought and devotion, we can achieve the acme of devotion, highest devotion. You can forget about that and you can only totally be devoted. With your intellect, you can become someone who can be admired at. You can reach the pinnacle of intellectual power, but they will not help you to go beyond the experience, what your experience is worth, to go beyond the transcendental experience, where your intellect will not be required, where your devotion enables you to go there, intellect enables you to go there, but it is no longer of any use once you attain that stage. That is what we call Turiya. With some introduction on this part and how it has been taken into the philosophical component of this particular Upanishad, we will just start with the one and the only thing which is being quoted from Muktika Upanishad. When Lord Hanuman, he asked, Iha Kevalam Muktastu Upayam Siddhyate. What is the Kim Upayam Siddhyate? What is that? What is the only Upayam by which a person can attain the Mukti or the peace, liberation? One can be peace with himself. That is Mukti. How it can be done? Rama said, that is why Rama said, Mandukya Eke Evala. Vimuktam mumuchyate, because that itself will give you the mukta. Mandukya Upanishad alone will give the. He said that. Based on that only, we have proceeded the entire Mandukya Upanishad. The first, when we talk about Om Ityeta Aksharam Idam Sarvam Tasyopa Upavyakyanam, we said Om is the ultimate. Om is one is the Adhyaksharam. Aksharam refers to the Paramatman. Aksharam also refers to the Prakriti. Prakriti represented by Sri Lakshmi, Sri Tattva, what we call it. She is also the Aksharam, but he is Adhyaksharam. He is the one who is giving even power to the Lakshmi, Prakriti. That is what it's being. Adhyaksharam, in the sense, it is the ultimate. As we go into that, it is the ultimate consciousness without which none of our thoughts will be lighted up, we will be able to understand and act upon that. The thoughts may come, thoughts may vritti that will come. The thoughts will have to be lighted up by consciousness. The thoughts will have to be acted upon by us, by understanding our intellect. That will happen only when the consciousness lights. It is like you get into a dark room. You don't know what are all the things in that room. Once you put the switch on, then you are able to see everything in the room, including, where it has been wrongly placed, where it has been rightly placed, what are all the things available and all. That is something like a consciousness. The consciousness that comes, the consciousness is nothing but electricity. So unless it comes there, the consciousness lights up your thoughts. That's how, you are able to understand that. This is an abstract explanation of that. Otherwise, it is the divine power who is with you, who is in you, who is guiding you, who is making you to act on. Everything is done by him through you based on your ability, eligibility, understanding and capacity. He's making a top scientist, can go on inventing a vaccine on COVID because he has been given that eligibility, entitlement, and he has got the skill. But a normal mechanic, in a plumber, he has got the eligibility to do that. He gives accordingly to everyone's eligibility and everyone's understanding, everyone's capability and capacity. This is called Om Ityeda Aksharam Idam Sarvam Tasyo Upavyakhyanam. Upavyakhyanam is extensively inexorable explanation is given by this, because this has been explained. It is finally the ultimate one. Bhutam Bhavat Bhavishyati. It is not only the past, it is in the current, the Vartamana, and Bhavishyati, even Agamikala, the future, whatever is going to come. In Bhutam is whatever happens in the past, we learn it. What is experience? What we learn from what happened to us is experience. What happened to you is not experience. Look, I missed my train. Missing your train may happen. It's not happening to you alone. It happens to so many people. What you have learned from that missing the train? You should either reach the station in time, or you should be prepared to board the train. You will have to be well prepared. You should be mindful of your presence in the station and do it. That is the learning we gave it. We get it from that. That is the experience. That is the Bhutam. That gives us the knowledge. The past gives you the knowledge to enable you to fruitfully live in the present and go into the future. Bhutam Bhavat Bhavishyati Sarvam Onkara Eva. The entire thing, whatever happens, is being guided by Onkara. Onkara is nothing but the primordial superpower. He is with you and he is guiding you. He is doing everything. And it also tries to tell Yati Chat Anyat Atrikala Atitam. It is beyond the time and space. See, we know everything, because a person can live for 100 years, a person can live for 60 years, a person can live for 80 years, whatever it may be. We know the time, he lived, because he is in the past tense, the moment he goes there. Because these are all beyond the time and space, even time immemorial. It is always there. Whatever superpower, whatever you imagine that happens, it is beyond the time. This same concept has been reflected in Greek philosophy also, Stoicism, because I've also quoted a very famous words of Marcus Antony. The Marcus Antony is, because what he has written in his meditation, he has written a gospel type book. He is one of the emperors, the most famous emperors of the Roman emperor, but he was following the Stoicism of the Greek. When he said, when you mean a superpower, when he ordains to give you something, he is providing not without the nature which has to provide to you. He has created the nature to provide to you. What you call a fortune is given by the nature provided by him. Finally, whatever you get into this world, even in the Greek philosophy says, it is because he has created it for you. Through that you are getting it, and you are interrelating yourself with whatever is existing in the world. You are part of the whole system. You are not a cog in the wheel. You have got an active part to be taken into this world. It is not that, because I come, others will be doing, I exist here, I go off. It's not like that. You have got to do. what you have got to do? Your thoughts are lighted up. You have to take action, whatever it's then. In infancy, you will be going to the school and you will be listening to your parents. Once you grow up, you will try to develop your own mind, your own sort of interest on that, and you want to pursue your own things. Once you grow up and get it, and then you go to your own profession or your own, or you become a sportsman or whatever you like, you become like that. Once you become that, what is that? It happens. You try to develop that. All these things are provided by you will have to take some action. Without keeping quiet, you will not be able to develop. And one thing has been very clearly said in the Upanishad, as we have seen in the Isavasya Upanishad, you have got to do your karma, you have to take action, swadharma, you will have to do that. You cannot be sitting idle. Because just I know Upanishad, I can't simply be reading Upanishad and sit at home. I will have to do whatever I have to do to live in this world, whatever I have to contribute to this world, whatever I have to get into this world and do my bit of it. I am a part of it. I am not a cog in the wheel. Krishna Vichetavat. As you are feeling thirsty, you are getting the cup of water. You don't hesitate to wait for another 10 minutes to take water. Whenever you feel thirsty, you are taking water. Like you have to act as and when you have to. Because anything in front of you, you will have to act. You should not procrastinate. Upanishad doesn't say, because you just read the Upanishad, great concepts have been mentioned, you simply sit idle. That's not. That is why it said, this is beyond the thing. Bhutam bhavat bhavishyati. You have to continuously work on that. But the entire thing, your action is guided by the one who is Trikala Aditam. He is beyond all the three. This is transcendental. He is Tado Omkara Eva. So here, it is he is the one, he is giving it, and we said once he has done it, what happens, because he is in the four Sarvam Omkara Eva, once it has been said. Trikaladitam, Sarvam hi etat Brahma. Whatever you are seeing in this world is created by him. Sarvam hi etat Brahma. Once you see it, because he has given it to you. He is some sort of a substratum to everything. Everything has been created by him, including good, bad, and ugly. It is not that he has created only good for you. Because whatever you consider the ugly, it has also got the right to exist in this world. He has created it. How you are interacting, how you are going to get it, it is everything is a creation of his. But you will have to accept that, accept the existence of the bad also, accept the existence of the ugly also. Then you will have to live in this world, accepting everything and finding your way to treat the path based on your understanding, your ability to develop yourself. That is what Tadopyokar Sarvam Hetat Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Soyamatma Chatushpat. Ayamatma Brahma. Atma is a word used in Upanishad most of the time to denote the superpower as well as sometimes the self. Very rarely it uses the self. Otherwise, it knows the Bhagavanta also. I am Atma Brahma in the sense, Aham Brahmasmi has come based on this only in another Upanishad. I am Atma Brahma is being taken as the self is Brahman. But here the concept is also the one who is making you to do everything, who is controlling you, regulating you is the Brahman. That is the meaning it has been assigned here. Soyam Atma Chatushpat. That Brahman. So I am Atma. That Atma. He has got four ways of understanding this entire world. When you are experiencing this world, we have said, how we are refining ourselves, because we will not be repeating most of the things, since we have gone through elaborately. The Jagratastana, Bahipragyaha, Saptangaha, Ekona Vimshati Bukhaha. It is a Stula book, it is all the gross world we are dealing with. Vaishvanara is the concept, which has been, he is the one in the form of Vaishvanara is guiding us. Pratama Padaha. So he is the same superpower. He has taken the four different ways to guide you in this world. The first way he is trying to guide you is Vaishvanara. Vaishvanara in the sense he having created the entire Prakriti, having created entire objects. He makes you, enables you to get the feel and experience of every object you come across. Based on that, you learn that. Bahipragyaha Saptangaha Ekona Vimshati Mukhaha, we have said, because the 19 mouths and 19 sort of Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Pranendriya, and we have also got Chitta, Hankara, Buddhi, and Manas, all the three are taken together. We have also said Saptangaha. We have said how Almighty has got. His head is heaven, his eyes are sun. See, it is like Purusha Suktam. Purusha Suktam, like whatever has been said, because the same thing, like, and his feet are the bhumi, and his nabi is the space, and your basam is the ocean. He is also Saptangana. That is the description given. Why it has been given is all these things, he is in the form of ocean, he is in the form of Akasha, he is in the form of sun, he is in the form of the entire earth. He is there present, and so you are having the experience whatever has been provided by him. You are not getting anything out of that. So when you are having all this experience, what is the concept behind that? So when you are into this world and experience everything, you get all sorts of feelings. Sometimes you are contented, sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are elated, you are joy, jumping with joy, sometimes you are sorrow, and you get into some sort of when you lose something, or when you lose something, anything, person, place, or anything like that, because then we are into deep down into our own moods. We are not able to come out. All these things happens. So when the experience with this world, when it happens, by virtue of the power we are learning in the cycle every day, morning to evening, when we are going through the Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana, Sushupta Sthana, in the cycle when we go through. In the Sushupta Sthana, when we don't have to interact, the deep sleep state, when we don't have to interact with the things of the world, we are at peace, total peace. The bliss is there. He said, we are in the custody of Paramatma, we have got nothing to worry about it. That state, you are not in contact with anything of the world, and you are not in contact with your own relative position in this world, whether you are a father, mother, or a son, anything, and nothing is there. At that point of time, you are happy. So it means when you are able to take the world with detached attachment, you are able to get that bliss. But when you are interacting in the world, when you are able to give, when you are trying, when you are getting attached to anything or everything, your experience or place, a person or anything in the world, it is likely to cause you the happiness or sorrow, whatever it will happen. How, because what we are doing, what we were telling was every time when you go the Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana, and Sushupta Sthana, you are refining. It's like a refinery. The refinery, first crude oil is pumped in, and after the crude oil is there, there is all, the aromatic things are being removed. There is a column which removes it. Then catalyst is added so that, it's further removed. Like finally, the purified petroleum product which can be used comes out in the form of diesel or petrol or everything it comes. So likewise, the experience refines us every time. From Jagrata Sthana, the entire world, and when you are doing it, your unfulfilled desires, will be lot. Because once you see everything, once you go to the US for the first time, everything will be, you will be sort of enamored of everything. I will have to go to Disney, I will have to go here and all. But once the pangs of life takes there, and you know what you can enjoy, what you can't. So likewise, slowly you understand like that, because initially you will be enamored, like of the entire thing available in the world, because they are all trying to give you happiness, they are all giving you comfort, but at the same time, you have also got, your duties to perform, either as a father, either as a son, either as a friend, or either as an employee, or either as an employer, whatever it is there, it's all our duty. A sort of sort of industrialist also, capitalist also, they have to constantly think of how to augment the sort of resources, and how to put up the new projects, and how to go about it. A project company, will have to look for new projects. It is a continuous stream that will happen. In that, you will get all those things. Sometimes, you will get attached to particular company, or particular experience, or a particular way of working, or a particular stream of profession. Whereas, because slowly when you go through, when you reach a stage, when everything, all the streams are having equally a sort of some component of importance. For instance, in an organization, it is the peon has got the same importance, same as the janitor who has got the same importance. In a society, without him, the houses will not be clean. Likewise, everyone has an importance. Everyone has got a function. The dignity of the labor, or the dignity of his existence is there. Once you recognize, once you accept that, Slowly, because all these phobias will go off. All, you will not be sort of repulsing, you will not be repulsed by something, you will not be attached by something. You will see the importance of everything. That is the acceptance. The importance, why we say, because we have to accept whatever comes to us, whatever happens to us. And the acceptance is, so like, if something is, your finger is there, by mistake, you've bitten your finger, you are not going to punish your mouth because it happened, because it is your own hand, your own finger. But when you consider everything to be yours, how you can consider that? That is what the Upanishad always tells. In everyone, there is a regulator, there is a supreme body who is there. He is guiding us. He is the same person in us also. The same person within us and within everyone, he is also same outside. So how can you look upon someone as different? He has got the same regulator. He has got the same boss. He has got the same command as you are getting it. How can you be different someone? So that is what is that is what we have already seen in Isavasya Upanishadam itself. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva anupashyate. Because in everyone, it is there. In the Atman is there. He is the one who is guiding us. So once we have come to know that, by repeatedly defining and all, what happens by doing that, we do not have unfulfilled, we are trying slowly reducing our unfulfilled desires, unfulfilled ambitions, and no new desires. In the lot of desires which come and attach to you, it is getting reduced. No, the desires which are coming and attached to you new comes down, and the unfulfilled desires goes less. Slowly in this process, you become some sort of a balanced person. So in this context only, Adi Samanvaya and Apti Samanvaya, we said in Jagrata Sthana, Adi Samanvaya wants to know that, you are getting into the sleep and you get back again. You are not going to look for new experience or new desires and all, because you will have to get across to the world as it is, you do not have nothing new to do, to be done. At that point of time, you become capable of providing it to others. So you become someone like the head of a state, and you become a head of an organization. You become more a great, you are head of some sort of institutions where you provide facilitations, where you provide amelioration to a lot of people. Something happens. That happens. So people at that point of time will have to have a sort of a balanced outlook. They will not be having any fear or favor. They will not be playing favorites. They will be looking up everyone equally. Samanvata, that will be there. Once you get into the Ubhayatva, because once you get into the dream state, what we talked about, which is in between and all. When you get into that, you got the lateral impressions of the mind. When you get the lateral impressions of the mind, your bodily experience goes off. Because it is only the experience you have gathered, during your Jagrata Sthana, they are all stored in your Chitta, from there you are able to get. Sometimes even which you have not experienced comes. That is because of your vasanas from the previous birth. That is because some of the skills you have accumulated, you might have been someone who is worth the name in your previous birth. You have got all those knowledge. It doesn't go waste. It is with you. If you are a great physicist, worth the name in some earlier birth, and this year also, this birth also, you will be someone outstanding in the physics. You will be doing something great. How does it come? It comes because already it is stored. It is coming apart from your current experience and interest you are taking it about. It is most inexplicable, but it happens. The inexplicable, when we try to find a sort of, the Rikshapulla's son gets into IIT, IIM, and he becomes someone, immediately it comes as a news. As if, it can never happen, and it can happen in our philosophy, Sanatana Dharma philosophy. Because that boy must have been the chitta, it has been accumulated in natural. A person, who doesn't have a knowledge of music, his son becomes a prodigy. How he becomes a prodigy? He has got it. That's why the great musicians, they always say, he's a musician is identified by God. They are not being developed by practice alone. So it comes innate. You cannot force these things into someone and make it possible for them. It basically shows there is something else more than what you have in this world as the experience, which comes with you, guides you and all. Who does it? It's all done by that Vishwanara, Tejasa and Pragya. In all the three stages as Jagritasthana, Swapnasthana, as well as Sushuptasthana. He does it. He gets it and he does it. If you want to call consciousness, it's consciousness. As Advaita says, it is the consciousness. The consciousness, that guides you. The consciousness lights up the thought. It lights up the chitta. You get that. And you get the interest into that and you do that. So once you do all those things, it is not that you have got unfulfilled desires, you got everything and you don't deal with this world. You give up everything. Doesn't mean you got to live in this world. You come into this world. It is your job to be in this world and to do whatever you want. But you will not be doing with the motive. Your intention will be to accomplish it to the best. You will not be thinking of something, with a purpose. You will not be doing it. Because as a human being, when we are living in this world, we are all purposive animals. When the purpose is taken it out and, because when you are doing it to excel in whatever you are doing, the benefit may be to you, or it may be to so many people else, or it may be to someone else, or it may be to some organization where you are working for, or it may be to, you may be doing some voluntary act, it will all be benefiting to a lot of people. So when it comes, it is that excellence that you are able to bring with that. That is the refined final output, takeaway, what all of us are trying to get out of this three sthanas, the worldly experience. In the bliss, when we are getting it, when we are not living with this world and all, is we are into the total, we get into the highest state of the mind. We are getting into the highest state, we said we are in the custody of the superpower. He is taking us into that. Or you can say, it is into the state, where there is no cause, there is no effect. You just be yourself. You are not looking for anything out of that. You don't look for any of the experiences you look for or any of the things and all. And that is true for everyone. That's why we said in Shusuptasthana, the entire world, all the animals, ourselves, all of us are equal. We are all under the custody of the same superpower when we are blissfully sleeping. And when blissfully sleeping, what happens is all your unfulfilled desire, they are all latent. As you reduce the unfulfilled desires, they are latent in the sense they are to the minimum. When you get up, they again come up, for action only to the extent, because the unfulfilled desires are there. Even the rest of the things, unfulfilled desires, you will be doing in the Nishkama Karma, what talks about it in Bhagavad Gita. You will not be having any attachment to the results. Karmanyeva Adhikarastu, that is what you will be doing it. That is exactly he said. So in this context only we had, some of the Ubayatvata, Utkarshata, we said Utkarshata is the one, Karshat in the sense always elevating. Elevating your thought. Latent impressions of the mind always elevates you. The latent impressions of the mind doesn't give you all junk to you. So from the world, whatever experience you get, because you get attracted by, some book, you get attracted by someone's, the accomplishment. You get attracted by someone, who has talked to you or who has given a lecture you learned. Or you are talked even by a child. Sometimes the children ask you the question which make you to think. Because you are always, because you are carrying all the luggages of your thoughts, you are not able to ask such innocent questions. The children, when they don't have the luggage, they ask all the innocent questions in pristine, pure inquiry. Where that, it brings you up. See, it's not only that always, you have to go through that, you get that. When you get that Pravivikta book, because when you say in Swapnasthana, it is a sort of subtle, or entire thing is subtle issue. The subtle state, when you are there, you are just above, even the waking state. When you are having unfulfilled desires for you, you become someone who is capable of fulfilling others with Adi Samanvaya and Apti Samanvaya. In this Swapnasthana, once you commit Utkarshata and Ubayatvata, once you come to Utkarshata, Ubayatvata, what happens is you are elevating yourself. And you don't have any hiatus of the consciousness. Whatever you are attempting to do, whatever you are close to your heart, whatever you want to accomplish, that continues. See, you want to be someone, a great mathematician, the unsolved problem will still come to you. Or you are a musician, you wants to get, some rags, exponent of some great ragas, and you want to get into the highest echelon of the entire Carnatic music or Hindustani music. That will still be coming and it will give you further ideas. When you get up, you will try to again go off. So these type of esoteric things, subtle things will come in the Shrusuptasthana, Swapnasthana. Once you get into the Sushuptasthana, everything is latent. They are all kept dormant, latent, congealed. It is a sort of the entire consciousness come together, because come together and there is nothing, no external world to deal with, no latent impressions to deal with. You are all at peace with that. You are in the custody of Paramatma. They just about it done. Only thing is you have got the nescience, absence of knowledge. Absence of knowledge in the sense, what is the ultimate knowledge? Absence of knowledge is the ultimate knowledge, where everything you get it, you've got nothing to do or nothing to deal with the things which you are experiencing in this world. You will have to simply do it. That is what we call Turiya. The experience of the world, when you know once it is there and it has got all the assigned meanings for some period of time, once you get into that, you get into the Laya center. From there we go on. The Jagrata Sthana is called the gross physical state, where we are dealing with everyone. Swapna Sthana is a mental state, latent impressions of the mind. And Sushupta Sthana, the deep sleep stage, is called the astral state. The astral state is the one, where everything is, you are totally into sort of a thing. You are not in the command version, because your prana only keeps you active. Nothing else is active. All your sensory organs are not active. Everything is not active. You are into the deep sleep state. Once you come into that, then you get into the Laya center. Once you get into the Laya center, that you gives the transcendental state. The transcendental state, nothing, because none of them come into being. You are either the worldly thoughts or worldly unfulfilled desires doesn't come into being. Your latent impressions doesn't come into being. Nothing comes into being. You cross over and get in there. But when you come back again from that state into the astral, mental and physical state, you follow the same, but it will be more subtle. In the astral state also, there will be Jagrata Sthana. It is like a samadhi, like a thoughtless stage. And Swapna Sthana, it is like, because there is no latent impressions of the mind. You will only be in the bliss. The bliss person, you will be continuing in that. That is what we call Turiya. On the Turiya state, you will not have any sort of a Advaitam. That is what we will be seeing it. So in the Sushupta Sthana, there are 2-3 words we have seen. We've seen Eki Bhutaha. Eki Bhutaha in the sense everything congealed, the entire consciousness, the entire understanding, entire thing comes into being. It is frigid. It is congealed. It is a sort of a massive, the colossus of the consciousness. In that, you don't have anything to act upon. Your thoughts will not act upon that. Eki Bhutaha. That is, everyone is having that Eki Bhutaha. A dog will be having the same Eki Bhutaha. A lion in the forest will also be having. Someone in US will also be having Eki Bhutaha at that point of time. If we are all having the same morning and evening, all of us will be Eki Bhutaha in our deep sleep. That is Pragyana Ganaha. In the sense, nothing, because entire, your impressions are all lost. You are into the total nescience, absence of knowledge. Gana Pragyana, that's what called. The Gana Pragyana is the word used in another Upanishad that has been quoted here for Pragyana Gana. In the sense, you've got nothing. The entire thing is you are in the custody of the Lord. You are just being kept there and all. And Chetomukaha. Chetomukaha in the sense you are being guided by what? The Chaitanya, the ultimate knowledge, Jnanananda Swarupa. Chetomukaha, Chaitanya, he is guiding us. He is keeping you in that dormant position, latent position, so that you are not disturbed. You don't have any happiness or sorrow. You are in a blissful state. But you know your existence and your time. And once you get up, you had a good sleep. That position, he keeps it you there and all. So when he keeps it there, what he does is Chetomukha Pragyas Turiya Pataha. Once it after this Pagyaha, then that is Tritiya Pataha. This is the third one. Once into why these words are so important? Chetomukha, Prajnanaganaha, and Eki Bhutaha. Why you are getting it? He gives you a sort of experience. Once you detach yourself from the world, how great a bliss you will be getting it. Once you detach from your past, once you detach from your experience, how great a bliss you will be getting it in. Once you are able to keep the bliss aware of you, then you will be having the awareness of Almighty always going through. So they say, the entire, when you go from the astral state and the physical state, it is the physical state is Jagratana, astral state is, you transcend beyond the deep sleep state. These are all the two major states. But the Swapnasthana and Sushuptana, deep sleep, they are coming in between. They are coming in between because there is no loss of consciousness, but still you are able to develop and get the further experience into your chitta because you have already heard the experience in the world. Jagratasthana. So this three experience when they gave, they simply attempted to explain us what we are experiencing every day, on basis of which how we are able to elevate ourselves by refining every day, and as a youngster, as a teenager, as well as a grown-up person, and into the old age. How we are able to develop and get into that stage. Whether all of us are able to develop in the same way? No. Because all of us have our own capacity, our own chitta. My experience can't, inexperience can't explain your experience. Your inexperience can't explain my experience. So each one has to attempt to go into that. So Upanishad's message is that each one of the seekers will have to try to understand. It is not only, you are listening, into the entire teachings of, the Upanishads as well as by the great acharyas. You also transcend, you try to transcend yourself in your own way. So each one of us can excel in ourselves, whatever it is, he can become ourselves, and we can find the bliss within ourselves. That means each one of us will have to work on. Upanishad doesn't give anything as a fast food. See, it may be explained in very detailed. We can give sort of an excellent explanation of everything and all. Finally, it is up to the seeker how he is going to take it, how he is going to get the benefit of it, and how you will be able to be sort of influence others. We have seen Swapnasthana, once you Utkarshata, Upayatvata, once you get into the Upasanas, which is coming, following all these things. Once we do Jagratana Upasana, Adimatva and Adi Samanvaya, Apta Samanvaya, we will have it. Swapnasthana, Utkarshata, Upayatvata, when he said, in your lineage, no one will be ignorant. They will all be having the knowledge. Ignorant. See, we said, how Brahmavit, it is continuing. And not only that, you will be you will be equitable. You will be having an equal approach. You will not be having a fear or favor. You can arbitrate with anyone because you do not have any sort of a contamination in your thought. You are without fear or favor. You don't play favorites. That is for Swapnasthana. Sushuptasthana, you are getting into the ones you are having able to get the unfulfilled desires and all through, and your latent impressions are not there in Sushuptasthana. Once you do Upasana, you become someone who will be able to understand the other mind, and as well as you will be able to act upon them, because the great masters who have all brought this world, who have reformed this world with their wisdom, they are all the ones who have got into that stage. They are all rishis. That's what we talked about. That I think we will be covering in a few of the mantras. We will be doing it and all. So when we do it, this Jagratasthana, Swapnasthana and Sushuptasthana, when we talked about how we are close to the power or the consciousness, that is also being brought about this. Dakshinakshi Mukhe Vishwoho. Dakshinakshi Mukhe is this Agya Chakra between your your eyebrows, the Agya Chakra, Dakshina Akshimukhe. Just above that, the Agya Chakra is there. The Agya Chakra is the one which gives you the thoughts, whether good or bad or undesirable, all the thoughts comes from there. The understanding also comes from Agya Chakra. When we say Upasana, the Agya Chakra, once it is tuned to the full, once it is elevated, then you are able to know what other person wants. The Mahans and all, their Agya Chakra is so strong. Jagratasthana, Upasana, what we said, Ati Samanvaya and all, your Agya Chakra is full to the brim. You are able to do anything. And that gives you the right thought, intuition. When you face a dilemma, when you are at the crossroads, the intuition guides you And it could be anything that is happening to the world, any vicissitude, any obstruction, any sort of impossible things that is happening in this world. Everything can be warded off with the intuition that comes only the Jagrasthana, that Upasana, because that is where, your Adi Samanvaya and Apti Samanvaya is there. It is able to guide you to that. Same is, we said in the Swapnasthana also, once you do it, and then you are able to hypnotize, you can suggestively, you can make it others to act. For instance, a person is not well indisposed towards you. Once you have the Upasana, even, after when you meet him or even with your vibration, he will be able to bring his mind to a positive attitude towards you. He will not be thinking of doing, because he will not be clannish. He will not be trying to sort of, manipulate the things and all. He will be open and he will try to guide that facilitates you. That is happens. It is all not that powers you are trying to exercise, because you have become so high with your Upasana that influences, that vibration goes. We were telling, because we are in the quantum physics, we are all vibrations, and 0.01% is only the name and form. Rest of it are all energy and all, we said. Yes, it is there. But what Upanishad talks about, the superpower or consciousness, is it is beyond even that cosmic, that quantum energy. The quantum energy is dormant, latent. It doesn't have Chaitanya. Chitta is not there. Whereas what the consciousness, what is being talked about in our Sanatana Dharma, in this philosophy, the supreme power who is in this philosophy, Cheto Mukhaha. See, Cheto Mukhaha is Chaitanya, because, and we ourselves become Chaitanya, once we get the benefit of the Upasana, because that is something different. Because the vibration, you can do so many things, so many techniques will be there to how to have the vibration and all do these things, extrasensory perception, how to get the intuition, by doing this meditation, that, and all those things will be there. But nothing can equal to the experience by which you are doing Upasana and get into it all, because it is beyond what was being talked about by science. The science has explained what is happening, the phenomena it has explained. But the noumena, what is called phenomena is different, what you see. Impossible things that is happening, and we try to give a color, the vibration takes place, and you are able to get the extrasensory perception by which you are able to do that. Which we do all those things, because all these things have a meaning in the experience in this world. But once you have all these meanings, finally the last stage, the Chaturtha, Turiya, when we go, what is that? We have seen, it has all been given, it has all been denoted by the term that is always telling, because what you have learned in this world is not that. So we will go into that. Before that, we will just complete the part of one thing, which I wanted to focus on, the creation. In this Upanishad, Karika verse, when we said Dakshinakshi Mukhe, your Agnya Chakra is there, and the Swapnasthana, whatever you are being thinking of, is coming into your manas. Your manas is in your kanta, on your neck, just below the neck, where thyroid glands are there. The Agnya Chakra is the pineal gland. The pineal gland, when it is activated, your power to perceive, your power of intuition, your power to act to the best of your ability comes with the thyroid, because this Vishuddhi Chakra, this gland, when it comes, then you are able to get the best of latent impression. You are able to get the best of, because they say in one of the stages, even some prarabdha karma, you've got to undergo certain sufferings and all. Once you do it, it will come as a dream and go off. In a dream, you will be some sort of a discomforted. You will be wondering what is happening. So I'm involved in some catastrophe and all. But it is only a dream. When you come out of that, your prarabdha karma gets exhausted, because you have become so elevated. That's what they say. So that is, because whether you believe it or not, but what happens is, once you get that, you become closer to the Paramatma, because here Agnya Chakra is at a distance, but you get the intuition to do and deal with the world and what is happening and all. When the Vishuddhi Chakra, thyroid glands, once it comes, Thyroid glands also has got parathyroid, and thyroid gland has got so many other functions, as has been pointed out, and it's being still discovered in science. So there, once you get into the higher stage of elevated thoughts, higher stage of elevated action, your goal become more refined. As you happen in the Sushuptasthana, when you are into the entire, in the custody of the Paramatma, what happens? Sushuptasthana, Padmakosham Patikasham. Adho in the inverted lotus in the heart it is there. That's what the Upanishad, Narayana Upanishad says. In the Upanishad, in the Narayana Suktam says, in the inverted, there is a Sushupta, Sushma, one part is there, that Paramatma is residing. And the Paramatma and all Devatas are all your sensory organs. See, Indriya Devatas are also residing there. They get into the custody, he gets you into the custody, he gets you into the safe custody. Like you are being kept in a vault. As you are keeping your things in the bank vault, you are being kept in a vault, you are being secured. And he secured, by securing you, and he is trying to bring down you to your ability, whatever latent unfulfilled desires are there, try to make you enabled, and because make you one of the finest refined soul in this world. That's what he does it. So when he does it, the Paramatma has got a different type of explanations. It is a consciousness in Advaita. In Visishtadvaita and Dvaita, it is Vishnu is considered to be the supreme power. Vivishti to Vishnu. Because he is everywhere, here, there, everywhere and all. He is Vyaptaha. Antad Bahischa Sab Vyaptam Narayana. Narayana Suktam says. Everyone says it is that, because whatever you call it, it is that. So when it does, what happens? When he is doing that, how he is creating it and all. In the Advaita concept, nothing can be created. If anything can be created, that can be created only something that exists. If something exists, only something can be created. You cannot create out of nothing. Whereas when you are in a theistic philosophy like Visishtadvaita and Dvaita, when the supreme power is there, let there be earth, he can create it. Ichha matram prabhoho sishti. No, it happens by his own this one only. So there is a concept has been discussed a lot in this. So in that only few or three concepts. This why we have to know the creation. Well, I think because if you really want to say whether the creation should be understood, yes, it has to be understood to know how the world works and how you are able to work and all. But if you really see, from the point of view of consciousness, because I am acting it and all, you don't have to know. You don't, because anything I have already been created, I am existing. What is that I have to know about creation? But it gives you an understanding. Prabhava Apyayu, he is the one who creates. All philosophy, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, everything, he only creates. He only sustains in this world. And he only takes you back. So when he has created, he guides you. How he guides you? He guides you as the consciousness in the world in Advaita. Whereas here, he is guiding you as a Paramatma in your heart. Hriti Akasha, Hriti Karnika they call it. Like, if you go to Banaras, Manikarnika Ghat, they say. Manikarnika Ghat is known for, where entire finally is being consigned to ashes. Manikarnika is a sacred place because where everything is consigned, because nothing is there and all. Here, Hirtikarnika is he removes all your ignorance. What is the ignorance? It is me and mine. So on all the three, when we have got only three things that is coming about. Our ignorance makes us to live into this world. When we remove that ignorance, we are able to live without that ignorance very wonderfully and very blissfully in this world. The ignorance is I and mine. That is called avidya. That avidya state only we are in Jagrata Sthana. But when you are in latent impressions of the mind, avidya still continues, but only your sensory organs are dormant. Your latent impressions are there. When you are coming into deep sleep state, the avidya, Mula Vidya is there. From Sushupta Sthana only you come back to the world again through Jagrata Sthana. It is called Mula Vidya. The Mula Vidya, that is dormant when you are sleeping because the absence of knowledge is there. When the Mula Vidya is removed, then you reach the stage of Turiya. So Turiya is something which we can't miss out, and Turiya is the one and the only thing that has been explained nowhere else but in this Upanishad. And this is the only Upanishad that gets into the Turiya, the highest stage. This is the blissful stage, which all the acharyas are trying to point out. Whether you want to call Om is also finally nothing but the Nada or Amatra, what we call, that is the Turiya stage, which we have talked about last week. And the Turiya stage is the one, where even you are into the custody of the Almighty or close to that, you become a Mukta. Mukta in the sense liberated from all the worldly desires. And you are into the total, because total bliss, where you have got only to give, nothing to take. There also you will be blissfully, and in fact, Punarapi Mananam, Punarapi Jananam goes off in that. That is the Turiya stage. That Turiya stage, there is a concept Jivan Mukta and Videha Mukta. Because this Jivan Mukta is a concept, this is always being debated among all the acharyas, in fact all the great pandits and all, whether it is possible to be a Jivan Mukta. There is one set of people who are telling it is possible, and we have to take, it is possible, because so many people's life has been considered to be like Ramana Maharishi and all, because they are all Jivan Muktas. That has been told, and we will have to take it, because they have lived, they have exemplified by their presence. And Videha Mukta is only even after you leave the body, how you get the mukti. In the sense, because by that, your chitta reaches the pinnacle of its purpose. You don't have any more to gain or loss, and you don't have to come into this world. So you got nothing to do. The same thing is being explained by each other philosophy indifferently. And the Advaita says non-difference. There is no difference between you and the Brahman. In the sense, when you are living in this world, when you are in all the three stages, Jagrata, Swapna and Sushupta Sthana, you are a lower Brahman. Because you are in the process of refining. Once you are refined, once you go into the Turiya, you are a higher Brahman. Paramarthika. Till then, you are in the Vyavakartika world. And Visishtadvaita say non-differential difference. In the sense, you are different anyway. The Almighty and you can't be equated. You can't be Brahman. But once you do the Upasana Seva and you do the service to the God and live in this service, you finally reach his abode and you are something like a equal, non-differential. You don't become Almighty, or you can't call Aham Brahmasmi, but you are something like that. Advaita says, Dvaita, yes, you have to be, you can't be difference, total difference. He is Swatantra, you are Paratantra. You are dependent upon everything on him, including your existence, your Mukti also. In Mukti also you are there. Mukti only, we will also see, because one particular word that is coming, and he is the Ishanaha, one word. Isha is those who have attained the Muktis and going near the Isha. Anaha, he is the one who is controlling them also. In the Mukti stage also, you are being controlled and you are under his guidance to be in the stage of Mukti also. That is what it says. Because all these acharyas have taken the philosophy to that, because the interpretations of the Veda and interpretation of the Upanishad is open to all such interpretations. And why such interpretations are necessary, depending upon the way of the world each of the time when these acharyas have lived. Not only that, once you go into development of thoughts, because now we have got Advaita, Visishtadvaita and Dvaita. Maybe 100 years later, some more Acharya, someone may come. He may propound something much more, because he may be able to still go into the thought. The thought development doesn't stop. In Sanatana Dharma, it is not the be end and this is the end of all. It is not, there is no end, it continues. Sanatanaha. It will be developing, and it is also being said in this, because Advaita, Visishtadvaita, Dvaita and all, that's not something new which has come. In Madhvacharya's, in Bhashya, what he says, these are all existing, time immemorial, Adi. It is there. All these things have been picked up from the scriptures. Satagamaikya Vigyayam Samatirtha Characharam has been picked up and they're developed by these acharyas. And acharyas, when they have all given once again to remind us, it is not the philosophy we call it. We call it darshana. Darshana is the one which we have got with their own intuition, their own experience, without attaching the body, mind and intellect for any of their benefit or any of the action which they need to require in this world. They have done it, darshana. So each of the seekers, when he wants, you can finally get into this dakshana stage. So that is what the Upanishad has given us, and these acharyas are not only have lived, they are living through their bhashyas. So these bhashyas are, when we are talking about the Upanishad, these acharyas are teaching us through the bhashyas, understanding of the philosophy, and they are the gurus. So we have to, in Kenopanishadam, we have seen, we will have to find out the guru. The gurus have been found out through the bhashyas of these acharyas for all these Upanishads. This is how we are getting into. So therefore, this essence of Upanishad will have to continue for one more session next week. We will not be able to plan, as we were thinking about. Anyway, it is wonderful for us to see, the remaining concepts, because this is the one and the only occasion where we will be able to get the full gist of the Sanatana Dharma's philosophy. Afterwards, it is only be the further elucidation of the philosophy in the other Upanishad. So with this, we will be going through, though it is little abstract and abstruse, it is going to give us the benefit. Not only that, next week we will see how it is going to be held on by each one of us so vigorously to live a wonderful life, as well as realize ourselves what a great being we are. With this, I will try to conclude today's session, and we will go for a small meditation, and I will formally close it. I think and I wonder, you will all find it little maybe tough or little abstruse. Anyway, we will have the further clarity, and you can ask all questions. You can note it down. Don't leave any doubts in your mind unattended. We will try to give whatever is best possible. Yathamati, whatever we can discuss, whatever we can clarify, we will do that. With that, I will try to formally close the session. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahaihi, tejasvinavatitamastu ma vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll just take the music and we will go for the meditation.